In 2011, the Oxford English Dictionary added one word from Vietnam, banh mi, not sandwich, not baguette, banh mi, because nothing else described it. That's the power of French colonial bread crashing into Vietnamese street food genius. Crackling pork belly, tangy pickles, fresh herbs, one unforgettable bite. Most people ruin this at home in the first 5 minutes and don't even know it. Today I'm fixing that. Real crackle, real balance, real banh mi. Hit subscribe if you're serious about getting this right, because the mistake that kills the crunch, it's coming up next. The pork belly prep secret. Most crispy pork belly recipes fail before the oven even turns on, and it happens in one overlooked step. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Crackle isn't created by heat, it's created by moisture removal. Heat just finishes the job. Vietnamese cooks have known this for generations. Long before ovens with convection settings, street vendors in Saigon dry-brined pork belly overnight, letting the skin turn leathery and tight. That's not a shortcut, that's the entire secret. Grab a skin-on slab, pat it bone dry. Water is the enemy here. Score the skin in tight diagonal lines, deep enough to hit fat, shallow enough to leave the meat untouched. Now here's the part almost everyone skips. Uncovered, overnight, in the fridge. Not wrapped, not covered, exposed. That open air pulls moisture straight out of the skin while the salt works its way into the meat. By morning, the skin looks dry, tight, almost papery. That's exactly what you want. Skip this step, and your crispy pork belly turns into a rubbery, chewy disappointment, the kind that quietly ruins an otherwise good banh mi. This single overnight step is the difference between a soggy sandwich and the kind of crackle that makes people stop mid-bite. Stick around, because the next step is where that skin transforms into actual glass-like shatter, and it happens in a 15-minute window most people get wrong. Getting that crackling crust. This is the exact 15-minute window that separates crackling pork belly from rubbery disappointment. Everyone assumes crackle comes from blasting the oven at max heat from the start. That's backwards, and it's why so many home attempts come out either burnt on top or chewy underneath. Real crackle happens in 2 stages. First, low and slow, 300 degrees Fahrenheit, giving the fat time to render out slowly and the meat time to turn fork tender. Rush this part and you'll never get there. The fat needs time to melt beneath the skin, not just cook around it. Then comes the moment that actually matters, the heat spike. Crank the oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit for the final 15 minutes. Watch closely here. This is where the skin stops being skin and starts turning into something else entirely. It bubbles, it blisters, it puffs into these small, glass-like shards that shatter the second a fork touches them. This 2-stage method mirrors something Chinese and Vietnamese roast masters have used for generations with siu yuk. Slow render, then a final blast of dry heat to finish the crackle. It's not a modern kitchen hack, it's a technique passed down because it works every single time. Pull it too early and the skin stays soft and leathery. Leave it too long and it burns before it crisps. That 15-minute window is razor thin, but it's non-negotiable. Get this part right and you'll hear it before you even see it. Crackle so loud and sharp, it sounds almost hollow, like breaking a thin sheet of glass. Quick pickled daikon and carrot. Skip this step, and even perfect pork belly won't save your banh mi. Here's what most people get wrong. They treat the pickled veggies like a garnish, an afterthought, something you toss on top for color. That's a mistake that costs you the entire flavor structure of the sandwich. Vietnamese cuisine runs on balance: sour, sweet, salty, spicy, all working against each other in the same bite. The pickled daikon and carrot aren't decoration. They're the acid that cuts straight through rich, fatty pork belly and keeps every bite tasting fresh instead of heavy. Julienne matters more than people think. Cut your daikon and carrot into thin, even matchsticks, not chunky, not shredded. Thin pieces pickle faster and give you that clean snap when you bite down. Mix rice vinegar, sugar, and a pinch of salt until the sugar fully dissolves. Pour it directly over the vegetables while they're freshly cut, then let them sit for at least 20 minutes. Some vendors in Vietnam let theirs sit for hours, but 20 minutes is enough to soften the sharp edge of the raw vegetables while keeping that signature crunch intact. This is the step that turns a heavy sandwich into a balanced one. Without it, banh mi is just bread and pork. With it, every bite resets your palate for the next one. Sour, then rich, then sour again. That contrast is exactly why this sandwich works as well as it does, bite after bite. Building the perfect banh mi. The wrong bread ruins this sandwich faster than bad pork ever could. Most people grab a dense sub roll or a soft sandwich bun and wonder why their banh mi tastes off. That's the mistake. Banh mi bread has to be light, airy inside, with a crust thin enough to shatter the moment you bite down. A direct result of French colonization meeting Vietnamese ingenuity. Since local bakers adapted the baguette using rice flour to make it lighter than its European original. Split it, don't slice it clean through. Cut the baguette open lengthwise like a book, leaving one side attached. This keeps everything from spilling out later and gives you a stable base to build on. If you're keeping this traditional, swipe a thin layer of pork liver pate across one side. It's rich, slightly funky, and it's what gives banh mi its deeper, more complex flavor instead of tasting like a basic sandwich. Then comes the spicy mayo, not drowning the bread, just enough to coat it evenly. This isn't optional. It's the binding layer that keeps every other ingredient from sliding around and losing structure with each bite. This base layer is where flavor actually starts. Skip the pate, go heavy-handed with the mayo, or use the wrong bread, and no amount of perfect pork belly will fix it. Everything you build next depends entirely on getting this foundation right. It's the difference between a sandwich and an experience. Final assembly and taste test. This is the moment that decides if all your prep actually paid off. Everything up to now, the overnight dry brine, the two-stage roast, the pickled vegetables, has been leading here. Assembly order isn't random, it's structural. Layer the crispy pork belly first, directly onto the pate and mayo. Warm pork straight onto that base lets the fat slightly melt into the bread, tying the whole sandwich together instead of sitting on top like separate pieces. Next comes the pickled daikon and carrot, then fresh cilantro, then a few slices of jalapeno. Finish with a crack of black pepper. This order matters more than people realize. Vegetables on top of hot pork stay crisp instead of wilting into mush. Now, the first bite, the one that tells you everything. You should get crunch from the crust, then the shattering crackle of the pork skin, then acid from the pickles, heat from the jalapeno, and richness from the pate, all landing almost at once. In Vietnam, this exact contrast is why banh mi became a street food staple instead of just another sandwich. It delivers a full flavor spectrum. In a few bites you can eat standing up, walking, or on a 5-minute break. If any single element is missing, you'll notice immediately. Too soft and the crackle's gone. Too dry and the mayo step got skipped. Too heavy and the pickles weren't sharp enough. Nail all of it though, and you'll understand exactly why this sandwich earned global recognition. Save this recipe. This is the same crispy pork belly banh mi technique street vendors in Vietnam have used for decades, and now you know it too. Dry brined skin, 2-stage roast, balanced pickles, real pate and mayo base. That's the whole formula, no shortcuts, no gimmicks. If this fixed your soggy banh mi problem, save this video before you lose it in your feed. Subscribe for more authentic Vietnamese recipes broken down step by step. No fluff, just what actually works. Next time someone says homemade banh mi can't compete with the shop down the street, send them this.